This segment of Panther Sports Talk is brought to you by Lincoln Savings Bank. At home in Iowa, at work for you.
Welcome back to Panther Sports Talk with Director of Athletics Troy Dannen. And Troy, starting your 8th year, so much has changed here at UNI, but so much has changed with the NCAA in the last couple of years and even in the last year. I know you don't have a lot of time, but just talk about some of the impacts, challenges that changes have on a school like the University of Northern Iowa.
Well, you know, I've said this a lot of times. The NCAA is redefining Division I, and schools like Northern Iowa, and there's a lot of us like Northern Iowa that have to decide: do you want to sit at the big boy table in Division I athletics, or do you want to take a lesser role? Do you want to be a part of a one-bid league? Do you want to actually be competitive when you play those games against the high majors? And you know, historically, we've wanted to be at the big boy table. So as the NCAA redefines what that means, we are playing a little bit of a catch up. You know, some of the big boys, there's additional funding sources, and they're actually controlling that agenda. And we're in a point to react. And it's tough in athletics. You know, you want to be in a point where you control your own destiny. That's what coaches, that's what student athletes strive for. That's what the administration strives for. But here, we're reacting to what other people do, and we don't have a lot of control. So things like cost of attendance, things like meals, things like four-year scholarships that aren't born out of things that Northern Iowa was doing. They're born out of things that were happening in the SEC and the Big Ten. We now are deciding how much of that we can swallow at our place.
Yeah, the cost of attendance, that's definitely going to be a big thing that you're looking at this year and in future years.
Cost of attendance is probably the most tangible piece that's changed, but there are even some insurance issues, the four-year scholarships, the ability to provide some extra meals for our student athletes, which people don't see. You know, you could argue that they've always been pretty well fed. They're fed like any other student, but their needs are higher. And so we've invested a lot of money, and it's not new money, it's reallocated money. It's a matter of how do we prioritize our resources, and that prioritization is changing because of the way college sports are being prioritized at the national level.
So I know that you have served on some national committees, Senior Women Administrator Jean Berger has. Why is that important for you and your administration to be on these committees, to have a voice for UNI, for the Missouri Valley Conference and beyond?
Well, this year I'm on two. I'm on the Football Championship Committee, and I'm on the National Wrestling Championship Committee for the first year. Jean Berger chairs the National Volleyball Committee. So those are awesome appointments. Those are appointments people chase after because, one, you want to know what's happening. You want to maybe get a little bit ahead, and so you can kind of see what's coming down the pike, and hopefully you can direct your department in a position where it's best poised to succeed. Maybe again a little less reactionary and a little more prepared for what might evolve. It's a good networking thing, and I would tell you there's benefit to that personally, obviously, but there's benefit to that for the institution. I think Jean has carried Northern Iowa's name very well. I hope I carry Northern Iowa's name very well, and to get people to know Northern Iowa, not just it's a school out in the Midwest that has pretty good athletics, but get to know us and talk a little bit about what our program's objectives are. You know, we're not E.F. Hutton, but a lot of people want to know what we're doing because a lot of people are trying to get to where Northern Iowa's at.
In the past year, a good amount of fundraising and donations for UNI Athletics and through the Panther Scholarship Club, vitally important with what you're trying to do year in and year out.
You know, it's the key to our future, and I've said that every year, particularly for the last 5 years, that the area where we can grow revenue, to do the things like cost of attendance, to do the other things necessary to stay at that big boy table, is through our external support. And you know, we've sold 760 new season basketball tickets this year.
Great.
Now, okay, I get North Carolina, but there's a combination there with where the stature of our program is at right now. That's a way that people support athletics, and it's very, very important because it's tangible to the students. They see people there supporting what they've been working so hard to prepare for. But the Panther Scholarship Club, 1,750 members who, you know, some of them spend $250, some of them spend $100,000 a year in order to support athletics, and we appreciate how important that money is, that hard-earned money that people have discretionary spending power, that they want to give it to support UNI and its student athletes.
Well, UNI putting that money to good use. We'll be back with more with Troy Dannen and more here on Panther Sports Talk.